I had an accident while riding enduro and was hospitalized for 5 days in Puebla. All this and more happened in the previous episode. We were discharged and went to recover in Mexico City, where we experienced one of the most important holidays of the year.
How are you? We're starting a completely different video with the Day of the Dead here in Mexico City. We're in Coyoacán and I want to show you what the tradition is like in a place where it's fully experienced. So join me as we're going to show what this incredible celebration is like here in the country. Look at this. Amazing. The costumes here are incredible. People experience it with so much energy and so much joy. So let's check out the best ones. You'll love the costumes and more here. I want to show you this family that I think deserves the prize for best costume. Look at this. What a look, what a look. Guys, what does Day of the Dead mean to you?
For us, Day of the Dead is a tradition where we celebrate the people who are no longer with us by making an offering for them and coming here. So it's the Catherine, the Katrina, and our son because it's a tradition we want to keep here in Mexico.
That's great. And I also understand that you go to the cemetery a lot, right? Yes?
It's yesterday and today that people go to the cemetery and honor their dead by bringing them food or whatever they like the most.
We are at Plaza Jardín Hidalgo here in Coyoacán, where everyone gathers to offer their tributes. Look at this huge offering that's right behind me. Everyone comes to give thanks, to celebrate their loved ones who have passed away in their own way. So, well, look at how incredible this decoration is and how huge this offering is. Honestly, it's really, really beautiful, and you can also feel a very special atmosphere. Uriel, tell me a little about what this date means to you. And well, here I see the tradition with the offerings, and they're also performing a dance.
Okay, look, this is an offering called Tlalmanali. This offering is made on these dates, which is the day of Milcajehuit, the day of the fleshless. This is an offering from the Mexica tradition, where an altar is made, a dance is performed in honor of our ancestors, those who have passed away, our family members. Our Tlalmanali is made with the sacred elements of the earth, such as the marigold flower, which is native to Mexico. It is made with fruit and vegetables. At the end of the dance, it is shared with all the dancers. These dates are important for us to remember our ancestors, and it's a tradition that goes back thousands of years.
We are in one of the places that is a stage with a whole offering for the dead. Look at what it is. Amazing, amazing. And on top of that, it's starting to rain. Incredible. It's full of people. The number of people here is impressive.
With this nighttime view of Mexico City, we're off to have a unique experience at the cemetery.
Rain and all, we came to the cemetery, to the Pantheon, as they call it here. Each family celebrates their dead in their own way, so we're going to experience this amazing tradition. Look at how everything is decorated. The entrance to the cemetery is covered with real flowers. They're all real flowers. Look, there's wine and cheese. This is amazing. Come with me, it'll be great. We're inside the cemetery, rain, lightning, thunder. For example, here we are at one of the graves where Chabelita is buried, and it's all decorated. Notice that the family came and decorated the entire outline of the grave. Besides adding flowers, they also added all these decorations. Here, Each family member comes and celebrates death. I mean, it's very different from how it's done in other parts of the world with sadness. Here, when someone dies, they are remembered with joy. They come and bring their favorite food, their favorite drink. Many people come and sing around the grave. It's very interesting to experience this date here because many people really take it in a very special and beautiful way. I'm here with Maria de la Luz Sanchez. You were telling me that your daughter is buried here. That's right. And how do you celebrate the Day of the Dead here in Mexico?
So we start on the night of the first day because that's when it's believed that the adult departed arrive.
They arrive on the first day at midnight and leave on the second day at midnight. That's why we set up an offering for them with the things they like to eat.
But we make this carpet because we like it. We bring them music.
They bring a band so they can be here for a while, play music, the food she liked, the drink.
Right? Yes.
Exactly.
This is a mat. It's supposed to be a mat because it has marigold flowers, which is the path that guides them here.
Okay, and it comes from the entrance over here. I see that it comes from the entrance. You all did this for your daughter.
We all did it for my daughter.
What is here that she liked, that you have as an offering to her?
The pan de muerto, her drink that look now, she liked vodka.
The vodka, and you bring her vodka and they pour it in the grave. No, what do you want?
You won't believe me. Look, we put the glass like this and she leaves it by herself.
Are you kidding me? Seriously? Yes, yes.
My granddaughter blew out the candle, but it relit. She said, "Look, Grandma," and I told her it just doesn't want to go out.
How long ago did she pass away?
9 years ago.
They come all the time. They don't wait for the Day of the Dead.
We always come whenever there are holidays. For example, Mother's Day, Friendship Day, the first day of spring, September 15th.
You always remember him with joy, unlike in some countries where people remember with sadness.
He likes to see us happy, not sad.
That's what's important.
And so that's what we try to do, to be happy and cheerful.
I was just thinking, I mean, how crazy it is to be here experiencing this in the city cemetery and that it just happened to coincide with the Day of the Dead. Listen to how, I don't know if you can hear the thunder. Wow, there was just a lightning bolt. No, you have no idea how this is. And well, being here in the cemetery, being able to talk with the people who are next to their deceased loved ones, who remember them with so much joy, right? And that every year they remember you like this, that they come, dance next to your grave, play music for you, bring you what you love so much, whether it's food or drink. It's fantastic. And I'm grateful to have been here on this date, which is such an important holiday, and to be able to share it with all of you as well. I'm very happy. We came to a place here in Mexico City that I hadn't been able to get to before because the last time I tried, there was a protest, and that's the Zócalo. It's the main square here in Mexico City. It's crazy how the buildings are, how spacious this square is. Well, we're here during Day of the Dead, so there's an event going on. But I'm here with Avi, who will be joining us on this little tour around the Zócalo and some other places here that we're going to show you. Avi?
No, not at all. Welcome to Mexico City. Welcome to the Zócalo. I was telling Sebastian Villanueva that for me, it's a magical place. You can see here everything that has happened in the history of this country through different periods.
Here we have the cathedral.
The cathedral is right behind you.
This is the cathedral.
Behind the cathedral, there is a pre-Hispanic city. You have the federal government palace.
That's the federal government palace where the president is.
That's where the president of the republic is. Municipal government palace or Mexico City government palace.
Those two that are facing each other that we see there, this one and this one, are the municipal palace.
Mexico City Municipal Palace.
Perfect. And you were telling me that one is the old one and the other is the ancient one.
Because they opened this avenue to have a road that goes straight to the Zócalo. And so they made a reproduction of the ancient building. So with this, a large plaza is completed, just like the main squares in Spain. Because by urban decree, when the Spanish arrived, they said you have to have a main square where there is the federal government, the government like religion, and the monarchy. So this follows a bit of the theme of the main squares, especially in Spain. But the main square in Madrid is very small. This one is huge.
Very small compared to this one. And also what Abby was telling me is that there's literally a pre-Hispanic city underneath here. There must be hundreds of tunnels, streets and buildings, pyramids.
Underneath the cathedral, there's a pyramid. Under our building, there's also a small piece of the archaeological site. Behind the cathedral, right in the gap between the National Palace and the cathedral, there's an archaeological site. There's a pre-Hispanic city.
It's wild. I don't want to waste time. I want to go now to where they're taking us.
The Zócalo, known as the Plaza de la Constitución, is one of the most iconic and visited places in Mexico City. It's the historical, political, and cultural heart of the city. The square is famous for its enormous Mexican flag that is raised and lowered daily.
Well, we came to a place that's not so touristy and not so well known here in Mexico City with a story that's going to really interest you. Monte de Piedad. That's right. Hernán Cortés lived here. He was welcomed here. They hosted him when he arrived in Mexico to conquer Mexico.
That's right. Moctezuma, one of the Mexica kings or Tlatoanis, lived here. When Hernán Cortés arrived, Moctezuma welcomed him in this building and gave him lodging. After being the Azayacat houses or Moctezuma's palace, it became the houses of Hernán Cortés.
And this dates back to 1521?
1521, exactly. We are very proud to say that this building, or rather this group of buildings, because you'll see in a moment that it's not just one building, has had 3 owners. Moctezuma, Hernán Cortés, and Nacional Monte de Piedad bought it from the descendants of Hernán Cortés.
In 1836, this place had several buildings, but I can assure you that you feel like you're inside Harry Potter at Hogwarts, don't you? Join us. You'll love this place. There's a story. Just wait and see. Let's go. We're inside the building. Look at this courtyard, okay? A 17th century courtyard. All of this keeps its originality, doesn't it? It's been restored, but look at these marbles and stones. Here is everything for a Day of the Dead offering, which is celebrated very intensely here.
Very much so. For us, the Day of the Dead is a celebration.
It's incredible. We're entering a place where the treasure of Monte Piedad was going to be, where the vault was literally going to be. But during the excavations, look where we're entering. Look at this well. This well wasn't here. During the excavations, to place the vault down here, they're going to put it right where I'm showing you. Look, there must be about 3 meters of height here. Almost 4. Almost 4 meters? Yes. They started digging to place the vault and discovered that there were constructions from both the Spanish and pre-Hispanic times as well, right? How many years ago are we talking about here? Since 1521?
Well, the pre-Hispanic one is from 1300, from 700 to 1300. The Spaniards arrived starting in 1521.
Here, I want to show you something interesting. They were digging to place the vaults, but when they started digging, as soon as they got down here, they realized there were different types of construction, right? And the thing that caught their attention was finding this figure. Look, it's like a feathered serpent. It's Quetzalcoatl, right?
Quetzalcoatl?
Quetzalcoatl, who is a god for the Mexicas, who were the ones that built hundreds of years ago all the underground parts of these buildings and so on. But what happens? Here they kept digging to see what they could find and discovered that there is a double line that determines two types of constructions. The Hispanic one from the Spaniards and the pre-Hispanic one below from the Mexicas. What's going on? How do they realize that the construction up here is the one from the Spaniards? Because of this figure, right? The one of Quetzalcoatl for the Mexicas is very important, and they used it to decorate temples, right? So finding it here in a random construction that didn't have much value for them obviously is a clear sign that this is a Spanish construction, since they reused the stones from the Mexicas. They would tear down a temple or a building, whatever it was, and those stones, since they were already carved and cut and everything, they used them for construction. But of course, they would just grab whatever was left over and build houses with it. It didn't matter if it had a figure on it. It didn't matter what value each stone had. This is really interesting. The truth is, this isn't open to the public, so I'm really glad we were brought here. And well, everything you see down there is also made of Melica construction stones. What we're seeing there is also a stone with the figure of a god that they found while digging. They found that stone, restored it, and placed it there. Wow. Honestly, it really reminds me a lot of the Mayan culture in southern Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize, where there are cities beneath the jungle, right? And they haven't been explored. And this is the same. Here they built on top of the cities, yes. (1932). Why? Look at what I have here. Look at this vault. I literally feel like I'm in a movie. Look at this. It's crazy. An abandoned vault, restored, right? From 1932, and well, it has its safety deposit boxes, but the best part is that we're going to go inside. Look at this. Watch how we turn here and these bars start moving. Look, see? Do you see? It locks in here and here too. Well, obviously it's without the code. But anyway, let's go. I feel like I'm in Money Heist, guys. There it is. You have no idea how heavy this is, huh? Whoa, incredible. Look at this locking system. I mean, look. I'm moving it. Now I'm moving the lock, the key. Check out how the system works here. It moves. Everything is obviously disabled, but come with me, look at this. We have the main gate, right? To get in, we're going to put our hand in. They already showed me how to do it to open it. But look, when we open it, a little bell rings, right? It's like a warning that someone is coming in. Look at this. Amazing. Besides, it's super. It has a certain mystique. Look at these safety deposit boxes. Well, there are all kinds of boxes, as you can see. There are small boxes and some that are a bit bigger. Look, this is a box for just one person, for example, right? I mean, a family, or I don't know, just one person. And inside here, you can see they have, look at the keys. It says Alba, Mexico. And here, well, they have their corresponding trays. You'd have to see what they're for, right? But I don't know, they have numbers. 800, 1.000, who knows what each one is for, right? And then, well, the girls, for example, have, this one is a medium, you can see. This one is smaller than this one. There isn't any. They have their corresponding safety deposit boxes. Nobody forgot anything here, right? Oh yeah, what a shame. Each person has their corresponding safety deposit boxes. Usually safety deposit boxes have two keys because look, in these safety deposit boxes, for example, there are two keys. Why? One is held by the owner of the safety deposit box and the other one is held by the banker, the person from the bank. You put in one key, they put in the other, both are turned and the security is enabled. The lock of the safety deposit box, and well, here each person would bring their money, their valuables, who knows, deeds, jewelry. But what's crazy here is that they have dinners, yes? Dinners in the vault, so that's really cool. Honestly, the experience must be fantastic. Here we have bigger boxes. Look at these giant boxes. It's huge. And look at how thick this is, right? Look at this profile. Really hard. Notice that this is the entrance, right? Here we close it and it has the little bell here on this side. So when you open it, the bell rings. It's to let you know the door is opening, right? And notice that here as well, this is like a kind of small entrance so that if the big one was closed for security, there could be a person inside here. A person, an employee who would be inside here, but they would also pass the money through here. Same system, it opens, the bell rings. And here, notice that we have another vault that opens, obviously on the other side. Well, let's finish up. Let's close it the way it should be. Do you know how much this weighs? 1 ton 200. That's it. No one else can come in. Okay, we're out of the vault. And now, where are we going, Abby?
We're arriving at the Metropolitan Cathedral of Mexico City.
It's crazy, but we're going to do it now for something special.
You're going to enter a crypt you could never imagine.
Wow. Well, I'm here with Carlos. We're actually in the basement of the cathedral here in Mexico City. We just went through a whole passageway full of vaults from the 1900s. You have no idea how huge it is and how many passageways there are with hundreds of vaults. It's completely family oriented.
And well, these family vaults or family crypts are meant to provide a space for families to be with their deceased relatives.
There's no space left. It must all be taken already.
Right? No, there are spaces for some people.
For anyone, let's say.
Well, they can come here and ask, yes.
We're entering the Archbishop's crypt here. Wow. I mean, you didn't see anything, but look at this. What a place. Everything you see back there are the different vaults where the different archbishops rest. Here we have the representation of
Fray Juan de Zumárraga, the first Archbishop of Mexico.
Incredible. Incredible. Well, this place has all kinds of details.
What we have here are specifically the little bones. Let's put it that way, very simply. Yes. Not all the bodies are complete as we might literally think, but rather, once the decomposition process is finished, they move them to these small urns where the remains of the archbishops are kept.
What is this called?
This is called a drawer or decomposer, and its function is to allow the body to decompose until it reaches maximum decomposition, so that once this process is finished, the remains can be moved to the different crypts.
So when the archbishop passes away, they bring him here and he remains for about 30 years exactly. And if the body has decomposed, it will be placed directly into the crypts. But if it doesn't decompose, a canonization process begins for him to become a saint.
Yes, many of those processes have an important sign of canonization. It's that the body remains incorrupt. This is a sign of holiness. So you investigate, identify the reason for this cause, and then possibly a canonization process takes place. That's why time is important, and also why it's important to know if the body is decomposed, so it can be moved to its place, or to see if it's necessary to start the canonization process.
Here are the different crypts where the deceased archbishops are, and those who are still alive already have their designated crypt, which goes up to number 43, as you told me.
Yes, of course.
Of course, right. And the rest haven't been assigned to any archbishop yet.
For the future archbishops of Mexico, their place here has already been designated.
And a very particular thing is that all of this underground area of the cathedral was built because, well, as you know, Mexico City is built on a lake that is now dry, but every year Mexico City loses its level. It goes down year after year, centimeters at a time, but well, little by little. So Since the cathedral was very heavy, one of the ways to reduce its weight was to dig down here and to build all these vaults, both for families and for the archbishops, so that it would weigh much less. Well, it's quite a heavy activity. So, well, Carlos, thank you very much for opening the doors for me. This isn't a tourist spot, so thank you for letting me in here. All right, look at this door. The entrance with this gate and this stone that's about 15 centimeters thick and extremely heavy, it's from 1650. Exactly. You have no idea what this stone with this, well, iron handle is like. It literally feels like you're walking into a movie because the history behind this is incredible. All of this. Here, Carlos was showing me that we're at the entrance to the crypt, and up here there's a gate, right? And at the moment when, well, they pass away with the coffin, the gate comes down.
It opens, the body is placed in its spot, and it descends here to be able to enter, to come in here. It has a system to lower it.
We are in the center of the cathedral. Literally, we are in the vault area of the people's crypts. And notice that this place is the center. It's a circle, where up here is the dome of the cathedral. And we have the north, the west, the south, and the east right here. And from here, there are passageways going that way, passageways going that way, and passageways going that way and that way. Wow, this is interesting. We're in the cathedral's underground levels in Mexico City. We are under the dome. Right here we have the main dome, and below this is where we were just standing. Like I told you, we were right under the cathedral, right? Exactly. And here we have a kind of pendulum.
It's a plumb bob. Its function is to observe the movement of the cathedral.
And it has a map below.
Exactly. It has a map that allows engineers to know how much the cathedral has moved, how much the cathedral is sinking.
Because of what we were talking about, that Mexico City is built on top of water, and that precisely the corner of the cathedral is built on top of a pyramid.
Part of the cathedral has the Pyramid of the Sun as its foundation. We know this because in one of the inscriptions that the pyramid still has, there is one of the representative and elusive figures.
Of course, that's why it's tilted. One side supports while the other lets it go.
There is an exact effort from the whole building which makes it have this movement, this play.
We are at the altar of kings. One particular thing is that, look, it says there, Crypt of the Archbishops. Under this carpet is the grate that we showed when we were downstairs, where the archbishops descend once they die and go straight to the crypt. The crypt of the archbishops is exactly underneath the entire altar of kings. I mean, right down here, literally, the whole altar is made of gold, right?
It's wood, but it's covered with 23-karat gold leaf. And well, it's a very special piece of work. They call it the jewel of the cathedral. Of course, the splendor of this, well, right now we're in the process of restoration, so we can't see all its majesty, but when it's lit up, it's a beautiful sight.
It's amazing, and the details it has, the sheer amount of detail is overwhelming, and you could spend hours just looking at it. It even has figures, faces, there's everything, works of art, paintings, sculptures. Well, we're inside the choir, which is a place I swear I've never entered in a church before because it's not open to the public. We're inside the choir where the archbishops gather every morning.
In the case of this specific place, it's the priests who sometimes accompany the archbishop to pray a prayer called Lauds, which is a morning prayer with which they start their activities. That prayer is sung, which is why it's done in the choir.
You told me that there are two organs, one brought from Spain and the other built here.
Exactly.
So since what year, 1600?
1695, 1697, more or less.
This is about 300, 400 years old, more or less.
More or less.
And it's in perfect...
We had an accident in the year 60-65 where we had a fire that destroyed more than half of the choir. So what we're seeing here is a choir that's already been restored. However, in the back we can see the damage up to where the fire reached. So much so that some of the valuable paintings were lost here. However, the goal is to restore this place and make it as close as possible to what it was before. But most of the choir was lost in this fire.
Notice that this sculpture is darker. Well, that's as far as the fire reached, okay? And the one on the side is completely restored, but this one, this whole part too, they left it just as it was after the fire as evidence of what happened and, well, how everything else was restored. But notice how it's really, really black, like charred, right? It's wood that's been charred like a tree. Look at how it turned out. I was leaving the cathedral and something really caught my attention. Look above me, the moldings, how the line goes and suddenly drops and continues. The same thing happens on the door area, right? All around the door frame, and well, the floor isn't as noticeable, but that's the most visible part. That's what we were talking about before, that Mexico, year after year, is losing its level, right? So, well, it's decreasing and the cathedral is the same, so it's incredible to see how it's losing height. Mexico City has 1,000 nooks and crannies. It really reminds me a lot of Buenos Aires. Well, we already left the cathedral, we already left the Monte de Piedad. We're here at the Zócalo in the main square, a super touristy area. And just look at the architecture of these buildings, right? All around you have these buildings that maintain a very Hispanic and pre-Hispanic Baroque style. And honestly, it's a pleasure to come walk around and enjoy a bit of Mexico City, so I highly recommend it. I hope you liked everything I've been showing you. Honestly, it's super, super interesting, and like I said, these aren't tourist spots, and that's what caught my attention the most, so we're still here enjoying Mexico. Something really crazy is that people, for example, there's a restaurant up here and people shout from the balcony calling you to come in for lunch, you know? I mean, it's a way of inviting you peacefully and formally. They say, come, 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 the menu, the menu, the menu. So there you have it, everyone shouting for blocks.
It's really funny, but it's a way to promote the place, it seems.
I'm telling you, I became a fan of riding rental bikes. It's amazing. Look, there's city bikes that you rent through an app. It's great because it's going to help me a lot with the recovery from the hematoma. So the more exercise I do, the better, as long as I'm careful and take it slow, but this is good rehabilitation. If there's something I love, it's eating at these little places. Here they sell burritos, baguettes, and back there they sell smoothies, for example. Check it out. They're all here, all smoothies, natural, made with strawberry, banana, pure orange, everything. Delicious. I'm going to show you what I'm going to eat. It's finger-licking good. Well, now you could say enjoy your meal. I ordered a smoothie with orange, strawberry, and pineapple, which is called anana. And well, this burrito with baked pork leg, tomato, lettuce, cheese, and avocado. I'll tell you the prices because maybe you're interested. It cost me 100 Mexican pesos, which is 5,000 pesos, for example. The burrito, which is super generous. Look, I didn't think it was expensive. And then, well, what is the... Oh, thank you so much. How lovely. She brought me a little lollipop. And then the smoothie was 2,000 pesos, 2,500 pesos. Honestly, I didn't think it was expensive because it's not that cheap in Mexico City. So, well, let's eat something delicious. Enjoy your meal. A delicacy.